Ake, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. My name is Amy Serio. For those of you that haven't been on any of our informational sessions before, I am the Director of Clinical Education here at FreeNU, and I'm going to start the presentation, and Dr. Fake and I will kind of go in and out and go over, some slides periodically. So the presentation that you guys are viewing today is our number 4 session, and it's tips to make your personal statement stand out. And we will, we'll try to briefly go through the slides to make time for questions at the end. But if you have any questions in the meantime, you can just put them in the chat box and we can address them. Okay, so today we're going to go over, again, introducing ourselves. I introduced myself already. I'll go over the rest of the faculty. We'll discuss some more session dates that are going to be coming up in the future. And the main point of our session today is how to make your personal statement stand out. We will also go over how to apply. We'll talk about our website a little bit and give you some contact information if you need to get in touch with us. So like I mentioned, I am the Director of Clinical Education. I have a clinical background at Our Lady of Lourdes in Lafayette, Louisiana, where I worked for 15 years prior to coming to FreeNU. Dr. Catherine Flake is our program director, and you'll be hearing from her on this session as well. And then Mrs. Sarah Ludwig is our academic support coordinator. So before we dive into the information, I'm going to give you the next date for our 5th informational session. And that's going to be a really great one because we'll be having some of our current interns and maybe some past interns on the presentation with us to be able to answer your questions. It'll be just a Q&A session. It'll be at the same time as we've been having the sessions from 3 to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and that'll be on January the 26th. Of next year, which is right around the corner. Excuse me. And you can register for one or all of these sessions at our website, www.freenu.edu/MSNS. And we also record all the sessions and we post them to the MSNS page and to our YouTube channel. And below is the link for the YouTube channel. We've been posting a lot of videos. The interns, the cohort that just graduated this past Saturday, they did their capstone research project presentations last week. And so we have that on the YouTube channel. We have all the previous sessions, information about our current cohort of students. So it's a lot of good information there if you want to check it out. So now we'll kind of dive in and talk about making your personal statement stand out from the rest. So I'm going to go over this last slide, and then I'll turn it over to Dr. Fake to go kind of into the meat and potatoes of things. But, the main thing that you want to do ahead of time is make sure you've done your research about the different internships you're going to be applying to. So a lot of internships require you to do you have to do a personal statement, excuse me, but a lot of them, like ourselves, have specific questions tailored to that university or that site that they want you to include as part of your personal statement. So you want to make sure that you tailor each statement to the program that you're applying to. And one thing that we recommend is starting now. Of course, don't wait until the last minute. And Dr. Fake, I will turn it over to you.
All right, well, thank you, Ms. Serio. As Ms. Serio stated, my name is Dr. Catherine Flake. I'm the program director for the Master's and Internship program here at FreeNU. And I thought this was a really important topic to talk about, especially as you are probably in the middle or maybe just beginning your DICAS application. The personal statement is something that, like Ms. Serio said, all of you need to include as part of the application, but it's so important that you spend a lot of time on this personal statement and really make the personal statement stand out. We want you to have the opportunity to let us know who you are. And aside from your interview, this is the only opportunity where you really get to talk about yourself and let us know who you are. And so the personal statement should really be a reflection of that. I do want to say that I've spent the majority of my career either heading committees to review die-cast applications, or I've been a part of committees to review die-cast applications about for the last 10 years. And I've read some really, really good personal statements and some really, really bad personal statements. And so I really wanted to share with you guys today what I'm looking for and really what the committee is looking for. And I don't think this is very unique to our internship. I think it applies to every single internship and every single committee. Yes, your GPA is important. Yes, your volunteer and work experiences are important, but also important is your personal statement. And we'll really be able to tell if you think that it's important as well and spend time on it. So as Ms. Serial mentioned, every internship, almost every internship, I'm sure, probably has specific things that you need to address in your personal statement, and they vary. Every internship varies. So for our internship, we have 6 specific questions that we want you to address. And we want you to address these specific statements, but I put ... nothing more, okay? And we'll go into kind of some other tips, but we don't want these questions we're asking specifically of you, and it's easy to try to fluff it up and add more than what we're asking you, but you really want to make sure that you keep your personal statement complete, but it's concise and kind of to the point, but also thorough enough to let us know and to, be able to have the opportunity to tell us who you are. So our first question is, why did you choose dietetics and what sets you apart from other applicants? And so here you can perhaps describe a moment in time or an event that happened in your life that led you to this career field. I'll share with you that I was originally in pre-nursing, and I was taking, the nursing prerequisites, and one of those classes was the Introduction to Nutrition course, and I fell in love with it. And that was kind of the moment in time where I realized that I wanted to switch my career from nursing to dietetics. And I remember thinking back in my own personal statement when I applied to DICAS, talking about that moment and talking about that class and the impact that that class and that professor had on my life and my decision to change majors. And so you want to talk about, something that, why you chose dietetics, what led you to where you are today, applying to an internship program, and why does this event make this unique to you? Okay. The second question that we ask you is for you to describe what your short-term goals and your long-term goals are, and not just stating what your goals are, but actually describing what strategies you have compiled to achieve them. And so this is really important. I know probably a lot of internship programs, job interviews, a lot of applications ask, what are your short and long-term goals? So you are applying to a dietetic internship program and a master's degree program if you're, applying to FreeNU. So we know that your short-term goals are that you want to get your master's degree, complete an internship, and take the registration exam, and that your long-term goals are perhaps to become a registered dietitian and work in the field. But think a little bit deeper, okay? What else? What are your other goals? What about some of your personal goals that you have for yourself? What about other professional goals just besides completing this program do you have for yourself? And more importantly, what strategies are you going to develop and build upon to help achieve those goals. So that is something that you really need to think about when you're answering this question, aside from just the, blanket, I want to be a registered dietitian, that's why I'm applying to your program. We know that. We want to hear, what are your personal and professional goals? Again, what makes it unique to you? When you're talking about strategies, you can talk about tactics that you've designed to help you achieve these goals, any resources that you have that you're going to rely on to help achieve these goals. So we want you to be specific, but again, we want you to be concise. Next slide, please. Our third question is, what strengths will you bring to the program and what areas will challenge you? And so this is a good time to really reflect on what your strengths and weaknesses are. And I don't really like to call it weaknesses, but just opportunities for improvement, things that that you may struggle with just from past experiences that are going to be a challenge going into this program. We know that this is a pretty advanced, comprehensive, rigorous program, and it is 17 months long. You get your master's degree online, and you're completing a dietetic internship, almost 1,500 hours of supervised experience. So there will be times where this program challenges you, but there are also going to be times where you can identify what your strengths are and lean on those strengths to help get you through it. So you want to be confident when you are talking about your strengths. You want to believe in those strengths, but also try to display humility as part of our core values. We know that everybody, even me, Miss Serial, everybody on this call has strengths, but we also have opportunities for improvement. So you need to kind of dig deep down and think about what those are. Maybe talk to your family members, talk to your very close friends, people that you trust and respect, and ask them, what do you see are my strengths? What are some of my areas that I can improve upon? And you can incorporate that into your personal statement. Perhaps you can address maybe an example of a challenge that you've faced in the past and how you coped with that situation in the past, and how you can transfer that situation and those coping mechanisms over into this program, and how you'll react to this program. Okay. The fourth question is, how have your past experiences made you prepared for an internship? So you, of course, want to think about your work and volunteer experiences. Those are very, very important. Of course, they prepare you for an internship. But also, what about other skills, other experiences that you've had, that you've been able to develop your skills that you will need during an internship? So for example, are there any experiences, and it doesn't really have to be in nutrition and dietetics, but are there any experiences where you have had a leadership role? Were there any experiences where you have had to have really, really great oral or written communication skills, time management skills? Those are all very important skills that are really required in order to be successful in an internship program. And past experiences can help develop those skills, and then the internship can really help master those skills. And so you don't have to just talk about your nutrition and dietetics work experience. We can read that on your resume, actually. We can read that maybe from your letters of recommendation. But what other past experiences, again, that make those experiences unique to you, that will help you be successful in this program? The fifth question is a fun question. So who has impacted your life the most? How and in what way? And so throughout the years, a really common answer is somebody that's really close to you, whether it be your mother, your father, your grandmother, or maybe it could be a professor that has had a really powerful impact, and maybe they are the ones that are responsible for you being in this career field, and being in the dietetics major and applying to an internship program. But you really want to think about someone who's made a significant difference in your life, and how has that person shaped you into the person that you are today, and how has that person helped prepare you for this next journey in your academic career. Okay. The last question that is specific to FreeNU is, what characteristics of the university have drawn you to this internship? And I will say that specifically for this university, we are a very faith-based Catholic institution. We live by the mission and core values of St. Francis. And so some of the characteristics of the university that I'm looking for maybe when I'm reading a personal statement is that we want students who, of course, not only check the boxes of GPA and work experience and things like that, but something that's really important to me, and I know I can speak for Ms. Serio too, is that our students are mission fit. And so this is, again, your opportunity in your personal statement to prove to us that you are a good mission fit student for this university. And so when you talk about characteristics that have drawn you to an internship, not just specifically FreeNU, but this is just a good question to add in any personal statement that you write. Look at the mission of the university. What do they stand for? And how will you incorporate the mission into your everyday life? And how are you a mission fit for that university? Every university has a mission. Okay. I know in our personal interview, we have an additional set of questions that we would like you to address. And one of those questions is, which core value of our university speaks to you the most? And so you could incorporate that question into this question. But again, we want you to address these questions in your personal statement and nothing more. And so that is an opportunity you can expand upon those core values in your interview if you choose to do that. But so when you're answering question number 6, maybe think back to the mission of the program and FreeNU, and not only the mission, but what does FreeNU have to offer? It doesn't just have to be the mission. Do you like a variety of rotations? Do you like our geographical location? A lot of things can attract you to this university in this program.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Fake. I will take over for a little while. So you did a great job answering all of those, or pointing out all those questions. So now we're going to talk about how to go about, actually putting those things on paper. So before you do that, take a good amount of time just to self-reflect. Think about the questions. Do whatever you normally do to get into a good headspace. If that's taking a walk, meditating, praying, any kind of other exercises that clear your mind, and just be genuine in your responses. We really want to get to know you, and we want to make sure that you're going to be a good fit for our program. So be authentic and be genuine in your responses, and that's going to stand out, and that's going to be evident whenever you do go to put those things on paper. So when you get ready to get started, you first want to draft your statement. So I'm sure you remember, all of you remember this from your English courses, but make sure that your statement has an introduction, the body of the statement, and then a conclusion. Make sure that all of the questions that were asked, and in our case, we had 6 questions, make sure all of those are addressed. And don't bring in any topics that are not required. Stick to what the personal statement is asking you for. We want you to be concise, but we also want you to be, give enough information in your answers that we can get to know you. And it's, more than just a generic answer, like Dr. Fake said. Make sure it's, personal experiences that you've had. And an appropriate length for the personal statement is 1 page, single spaced. So I know it can be easy to, start to want to include a lot of details, especially when you're looking back on past experiences, or you want to talk about something that happened that maybe led you to this career. But remember, sometimes less is more. So if you keep your personal statement 1 page and make it concise, make sure it stands out, that's what we're really going to look at. Because sometimes things can get a little too wordy and it can cause distraction. So we want it to be concise and to the point. So now you've written your statement. So what's the next step? So now you want to edit your statement. Make sure that you've read over it several times to make sure it flows correctly and it sounds professional. Have people that you trust look over it. Maybe you have a friend at school, or maybe not at school, but somebody that's graduated that maybe is in a dietetic program and has written a personal statement. Have somebody like that look over it. If you have a professor or someone else that you trust that will give you an honest opinion, not just with the content, but also with your editing, your grammar, all that kind of stuff. And then last, you can bring it to the writing center and also have assistance with it there. So when you're going to finalize your statement, last step, you want to ensure that, like we mentioned before, that your personal statement has been tailored to fit the mission of the internship, and also how you fit into that mission, and what about you is going to stand out to us, and how you're going to fit into the internship. We do a big part of our mission and the university is to build servant leaders. So, we're looking for that aspect in our applicants as well. Not necessarily that you've had all this volunteer experience, but just what have you done in your experience in the past to be of service to others. I mean, it could be something very simple, but we're looking for people that are going to help those most in need and be the hands and feet of Jesus Christ. That's what we look for. Make sure that all of your questions have been thoroughly and genuinely answered. Like I mentioned in the previous slide, make sure you don't have any grammatical errors or misspelled words. Use your review option in Word, but also make sure that you're looking over it and that you, sometimes you can have a word that's recognized as something else, and so it doesn't get caught in the review. So just make sure that you have read over it and everything makes sense. So that leads up to that you want to have a statement that's perfect and error-free, because those little things can make a big difference. And me, I'm kind of like a grammar snob, so I'm always looking for those little things and they kind of pop out to me. So just make sure that you've got it exactly where it needs to be. And again, try to keep it no longer than 1 page, single spaced, and be concise, but descriptive as well. And I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Fake.
So I am also a grammar snob. My mom was an English professor, and so that is something that I want to reiterate and stress again. Make sure that your personal statement is perfect, it's grammatically correct, and error-free. It's very, very important. So how to apply to our program. You want to go ahead and register with D&D Digital Computer Online Matching Services at this website right here. And then you can submit your application through DieCast, share it with FreeNU. DieCast is open, and so you should have access to DieCast right now, and you should be able to begin the application process if you have not already. And FreeNU's DieCast is open as well, so you can go ahead and send your application directly through us. Once you submit your application through DieCast after February 15th, probably the next couple of days afterwards, you will be receiving what we're calling a supplemental application through the Office of Admissions, just to complete the application process. So there's a few demographics that we ask you for that DICAS does not. And then that's also the opportunity where you will go ahead and pay the $40 application fee, which all internships require a fee. And also the opportunity for you to go and upload your video interview. And so that is all part of the supplemental application process. If you need any additional information on how to apply to a dietetic internship, you can go to eatrightpro.org and learn all about it. Or if you want to reach out to me, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have and help you as you go through the DICAS application process, because it can get overwhelming at times. I do encourage you also to reach out to your DPD undergraduate director for assistance as well. And I want to mention that if you are matched through DICAS, you are automatically gain entrance into our master's program. So that's not an additional application that you have to apply to our master's program. You're going to be automatically admitted to the master's program when you match through DICAS. And it's not an additional fee either. I do want to mention that this is something new that just started. Actually, we just got approved for it last month. And so if you go to Louisiana State University and you are part of the DPD program over there, we have formed a partnership with the undergraduate LSU dietetics program and the FreeNU internship to allow LSU students to apply early through a pre-select process for early admission. And so if you're on the call today or listening and an LSU student, you can apply directly through FreeNU through the Office of Admissions on our website. The deadline to apply is Tuesday, January 4th. We will accept up to 10 LSU students through our pre-select process, and our program is accredited for 30 students each year. So this is about a third of our cohort. A student who from LSU must either be have a verification statement, so you already graduated or you're in the final year and of your DPD program, and you're graduating either in the spring or the summer prior to when the internship starts. And you can, again, like I said, apply directly through the Office of Admissions on our website, and you'll be notified by February 1st if you are accepted to the program. And if you are not accepted through the pre-select process, you can still apply through our program in DICAS. We encourage you, if you haven't already, to explore our website. We have a wealth of information on there. It's www.freenu.edu/MSNS. We have a dietetic internship track, and we also have a thesis track. So I encourage you to click on the dietetic internship track. You'll be able to register for our next information session. You'll be able to see information sessions that we did this semester, our previous 1 through 3 information sessions. And then I'd also encourage you to follow us on Facebook. We have Facebook, Instagram, and as Ms. Zero mentioned, a YouTube channel. So we're trying to build that up. I encourage you to go check those out. It's at FreeNU Dietetic Internship. Mark your calendar. We have one information session left, our 5th and final information session. That'll be January 26th on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Same date and time as today, Wednesday at 3 p.m. January 26th, and we'll have a panel of students here, and we'll be doing a Q&A session. We'll have some questions that we would like that we're going to give the students, but then you will have the opportunity to ask the students questions as well. So that should be a really fun and engaging information session, and we really look forward to having you all participate in this. And of course, if you have any questions, would like the slides from today, or have any other requests, we'd be happy to help. Here's our phone number and email addresses for you to jot down. And please feel free again to contact us at any time. We'd be more than happy to help you.